G'day guys, Aussie FIFA HD and welcome back to yet another FIFA 20 tutorial on my channel. Today we are doing a FIFA 20 defending tutorial. Today's tutorial will be broken up into 4 sections. Firstly, we have cutting out the pass with right stick selection. Second of all, we have cutting out the passing lanes yet again using right stick selection. Thirdly, we have following the player that's making the run. And last but not least, we have isolating the player so that you can make a tackle and start a counter attack. But without further ado, lads, I don't want to keep you guys waiting, so let's jump into it.
Griezmann, 3 men around him, but somehow finds some space. Ronaldo, fantastic, opening the drive back.
Look at this, just control. The control display there is absolutely ridiculous.
Elastico on the goal line. Aussie FIFA will not die.
Rightio lads, to jump into this defending tutorial, first of all, it is most important for you guys to learn how to use right stick selection. For those of you who don't know, right stick selection is actually a technique that you can use which selects your defenders, which you can then make a tackle or cut a passing lane. To use this method, all you need to do is use the right stick when you're defending. What this will enable you to do is select a defender that you actually want, or at least is better for that situation where maybe L1 wouldn't quite select the player that you want. This will take practice, lads, but once you get this down pat, trust me, you're gonna thank me. Be sure to go and check out my Twitter. The link will be in the description down below. I post on Twitter about my upcoming tutorials that will be coming to this channel, and I hope you guys can go ahead and chuck a follow over there to show your support and keep in touch. First of all, we have using right stick selection to make a tackle. To perform this, lads, and as I said at the start of the video, all you're gonna need is the right stick selection method, and all that is gonna do is enable you to select the defender that you want. As you can see in this first situation, we have our opponent passing it around trying to make an attack, and we end up tackling the ball with my right back. Now we take this back to when Marcelo had the ball. I could already see that my opponent wanted to play it up the line, so what did I do? I selected my right back with the right stick selection method to then go ahead and make the tackle. Once again, in this second situation, we have our opponent trying to play it around at the back end. We end up making a tackle with Neymar. Now, if we just rewind this back just a little bit, you can see that he passes it to his right centre back. And once I actually realise that he's going to the right, I actually select Neymar before he even passes it, or as he's just passed it, to his right centre back. You can see there with the arrow that I have indeed selected Neymar, and this is using that right stick selection method, so I can actually go ahead and make the tackle in the end. So there you have it, lads. We have ourselves the first example of right stick selection defending. Now to move on to our second defending tip, we have ourselves right stick selection but pressuring your opponent. And we're going to move into the first example. As you see, he passes it to his right back and he's looking for that right wing, but as you see, using that right stick selection and continuously selecting my defenders with the right stick, I'm able to pressure him to make a pass in the middle, which obviously wasn't quite on, and we're able to make the interception and go ahead and counter attack. Now if we go ahead and rewind this first example here, you see that I am actually going ahead and constantly switching with Neymar and Mbappe, and what this does is it pressures him to go down the line. But what you also notice is before he actually makes that pass, I select my left back using this left or right stick selection method, and what that does is it pressures him to then try and find a pass in the middle, which obviously wasn't quite on. Moving on to our second example here, we have ourselves Salah on the ball. Now, as you see, I'm constantly using that right stick selection method in defending to constantly switch between my defenders and cut out the passing lanes. And as you see, in the end, Salah didn't have anywhere to go, and we were able to start a counter attack. But if we go ahead and just rewind this here, you'll see that I'm constantly switching between my defenders using that right stick selection, as you can see there with the arrow on top of the player. And basically I'm covering all the runs so I can try and pressure my opponent, and I'm cutting out all of those passing lanes so that he has nowhere to go, and in the end we're able to make the tackle. Once again, lads, this is another prime example of using that right stick selection method in defending, and in particular pressuring your opponent. That is the most important thing, is keeping constant pressure so that you can try and win the ball back as quick as you can. To move on into our third example of how to defend in FIFA 20, and we have following the runner, or tracking that runner that makes the run up and down the line, or maybe in behind your defenders. And I can't stress you enough how important this is to track your runners, because if you don't track them, then your opponent's going to put an over the top through ball, or he's going to make that pass, which will be a killer pass, which will unfortunately get him in behind. Moving on into our first example here, you see that run of Salah just up the line there, and you would have seen, we go back just once again, that I've ended up selecting the centre back as soon as I see that run made by Salah. And once again, this is done using that right stick selection method. Moving on into our second example here, you see that I have selected my tip as I see that run from Cavani. If we just go back once again, you'll see that before he even passes the ball, I track that run with my tip using that, that right stick selection method. Once again, lads, you're seeing how important this is in learning how to use that right stick selection method, because it is so essential in tracking those runs and so essential in cutting out passes and pressuring the player. And yet another example is coming up for our last but not least example on how to defend in FIFA 20. What I'm talking about is isolating your opponent's attacker so that you can go ahead and make a clean tackle. You will see in most of these examples that are going through right now that I wait until my player or my opponent's player in his attacker is isolated before I rush up with my centre back. What you will notice is that in most of these cases, my opponent doesn't have anywhere to go, so he's not able to do much or even find a pass. What this enables me to do is select one of my centre backs and run up and make a tackle. Then once again, what that enables me to do is select one of my defenders and go ahead and make the tackle. Coming into FIFA 20, I have realized that defending is going to be relatively hard, although with that new L2 jockeying, I think it will be a lot easier. And in terms of right stick selection, lads, I cannot stress you how much this is important, because it will really change your defending game. I hope you guys did enjoy this defending tutorial. If you did, drop a like on the video and comment down below any future tutorials you want me to do coming in to the FIFA 20 season. Once again, I would like to thank you for watching this video from the bottom of my heart, and that is going to signal the end of the episode. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I certainly did. I'm out. Have a good day. Sayonara, au revoir, and goodbye.